Hello? Just to say we're about to start the press conference. If we're about to start the press conference, thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much for your patience. These things take a little longer than expected sometimes. Because we are running a bit short on time, we will go straight to Q&A, questions and answers. Please note that any questions about South Africa specifically should be directed to the South African Police Service. The Secretary General can answer issues about global crime, about the conference generally, and more generally. So if you have a question, there should be a hands-free microphone. Does someone have the hands-free microphone to pass on? There you go. Okay. If you can please say your name, which media outlet you work for, and to whom your question is addressed, and then we'll take it from there. Thank you. Can I have the first question, please?
Can we perhaps start with the Minister's questions and the SG's questions? Then the National Commissioner's questions will come last. So anyone with questions to the SG and the Minister? Okay, great. We'll come to your question.
Okay, Minister, my name is Mandela. Is he answering, yeah? Is it? Okay.
A long-standing issue, it's a big issue, it's one that I'm very worried about. I have received some communication from the MJC and from Bishop Mahoba. So I'm not sure the National Commissioner has received this request yet, but I've asked for a briefing about what SAPS is doing about gang violence. I'm aware, of course, that some time ago anti-gang units were put in place. There's been some question about their resourcing. So, like I say, I've addressed a communication to his office for a briefing so that I understand what SAPS is doing and where the gaps might be. Then I'm going to engage with the religious leaders who've taken the initiative to talk with me on Monday, hopefully. I then from those engagements, I'll decide what needs to be done. I've got quite a full week in other provinces next week, but my plan is to be back in Cape Town, I think it's the second week of this month, to pay a dedicated attention to this matter. And if urgent steps are required, further steps, once I've gone through this process, I will have clarity about what can and should be done. It can't be allowed to continue where you have unruly gangs shooting people in the streets. It's not acceptable. So I can say, if there's a message to those gangs, they must stop. because I do not regard the status quo as acceptable.
Thank you, Minister. Do we have another question for the Minister?
SG.
Minister, good afternoon. Shamila Fisher from Heart FM News. I would like to know from the Minister, or perhaps the Commissioner can answer this one. Almost a year ago, an anti-crime pact was signed between all three spheres of government. And this pact was basically an agreement that all three spheres of government was going to share intel and resources to try to tackle crime in the mother city. As of yet, we have not seen this plan or this agreement come to fruition. Is there an update on this? Do we know what exactly is going to happen when this anti-crime agreement will be implemented or enforced? Thank you.
All right. Do we have another question? No, let's give others a chance.
I didn't ask. I didn't ask. That's my dream. Yo. Minister, I'm sorry, but I'm... Okay, my name is Mandila Chwete from Independent Media. So there has been a call from the City of Cape Town and the Western Cape to have the police powers devolved to the city and also to the province. Have you heard anything from the mayor? Because I understand that he has reached out to your office. And also, what do you think about that? Will you even think about, or consider it?
So I think it's an important question. It is correct that a submission has been made to my office. I am, thank you. I am going to look at it carefully because there are obviously legal and constitutional questions that arise. So I want to make sure that there aren't such obstacles. In principle, my thinking is this, but I need also to go through a process of engagement and consultation with relevant stakeholders in the city, or stakeholders in the city before I can come to a point of view. But my general orientation is this. I think that 30, 40 years ago when we negotiated the Constitution, we had a set of considerations in mind. We wanted to create a unified government. We did not want a situation where there was a proliferation of armed police forces in a country with different mandates and so forth. But today, I think local governments and provincial governments across the country, faced with the pressures of improving safety and security in their areas of jurisdiction, are faced with new questions. And so I think that the expectation on the part of the city that this matter be given a fresh look is one that I have an open mind on. I think the constitutional framework is sufficiently broad and flexible to allow for variation across the country. And so let me say this, I will keep an open mind.
All right.
Excuse
Colleagues.
me, we're running very short on time. We only have a few minutes until the conference begins. If you would please focus questions on issues relating to this conference or to Interpol generally, as we're going to have to wrap up in a couple of minutes, and this is your opportunity to speak with the Secretary General, and local national issues can be dealt with at another time. So I would encourage you to focus questions on the conference and other events. Thank you very much.
Okay. Colleagues, only the question to the SG. If there are other questions to the Minister and the National Commissioner, we'll go on the sidelines because we are delaying the conference. Thank you.
Yes, my question is for the Secretary General. My name is Aisha Ismail. I represent ENCA. You mentioned about threats, cybercrime, as well as artificial intelligence. Could you just expand on that, please?
very recently at Interpol, we have conducted. So very recently at Interpol, we have conducted a study, a threat assessment in the region, where we deployed experts from Interpol to work together with experts from national law enforcement agencies from different Africa countries. And the result of that study is that cyber threats, so activities, criminal activities related to cyber crimes are rising in the region. And this is a result of organizations that are getting more sophisticated, are using more technology, adopting new technologies to commit those crimes. And one of those technologies is artificial intelligence. They are leveraging from it, and it's becoming difficult for law enforcement agencies to investigate and prevent those crimes, as it's also becoming very difficult for the victims to prevent themselves from that. And that's a role that Interpol is playing right now, developing tools and capacity building activities, especially trainings, to law enforcement agencies all over the globe, but especially here in Africa, with the objective of providing them the tools they need to investigate and fight those threats.
Yes. SG, my name is Turkmen Terz, representing Turkish Minute. I'm a foreign journalist here. There are so many reports there, and so many NGOs wrote to you directly that Turkey is abusing Interpol red notice system, and Turkish minister said they submitted 3,500 names to your system. So they are journalists, they are writers. So what do you want to say about that? You are a very credible organization. They are using your database to hunt their political opponents. Thank you.
So Interpol has a very complete and solid mechanism to prevent the databases and the tools of the organization to be used for objectives that are not under the main goals and the mission of the organization. We may have the opportunity to discuss about them later, but since this is not directly linked with the meeting we have here, I don't think we have the time to explore that. Thank you.
And it's going to have to be the last question.
Okay, this is a question for the SG. I'm Desan Thathia from ENCA. When you look at the continent as a whole, and when we talk about the collaboration between the different countries, what do you find to be the major challenges that are impacting the fight against crime? I'm talking about the movement of drugs, the human trafficking and others. Also the issue on the other side of extraditions and why these are such lengthy processes. So what have you identified as those challenges? Is it an issue of resources or is it an issue of will? Thank you.
The truth is that today, for law enforcement to act on pretty much any threat, we are talking about transnational threats, meaning that those organizations behind those activities are operating in multi-countries. So it's important first to have a mechanism for data sharing, and that's exactly what Interpol provides. We have a database that is used by law enforcement agencies from 196 countries to provide that information real time for police to act based on that information that is provided. The second part, which is related to your question, is about extraditions and judicial procedures that follow the police work. So at Interpol, we are trying to provide support on that part as well. So we are studying a mechanism that we can provide a similar platform to allow countries to also exchange information related to extraditions to make the process more agile and help with speeding up that process.
Thank you very much. At the end of the press conference, as the conference needs to begin, if I can thank you to our participants and ask the media to please leave the room as the conference is closed from now on. So media, please, can you quickly leave the room so the conference can begin? And thanks again to our participants. Thank you.
So if you need the minister, Kamo is here. And for the National Commissioner, I'm here. Not now, not wait. They're going to delay it. fine. Are
This
they
is
good?
ours. This is
Then,
yours.
huh?
This is yours.
Yeah.